This video is on the Bencher Iambic CW keys, or CW paddles, however you want to do it. This is the BY2 and this is the BY1. The difference is this is all chrome and this one, the base is not chrome. They do have, I don't remember what the serial number is, or the model number is, but they do have a chrome black base, which is relatively a newer thing. They also have a couple of other CW keys. They have a straight key, and they used to make something called the hex key, which I think was pretty sought after, but it is, I don't think I've seen a hex key in 20 years or more. So that was kind of a cool base. It was in a hexagonal, like a stop sign diagram. But anyways, these are the Bencher keys. They say that there have been over 100,000 of these sold, and they are the most popular iambic CW key. This first one here, the BY2, I bought it when I first got into ham radio and wanted to learn CW, and this is my first and original Bencher paddle. I wound up buying this in 1993, and you can kind of see on the bottom it's got my old call sign in there. I obviously loved stickers or something like that, but that's my old call sign, and it's kind of neat. It's got a little Allen wrench clip on the back, and yeah, everything else is pretty much original. I haven't had to replace anything on here. As you can kind of see, this thing's got a little bit of wear and tear, being a little bit too crazy with the CW paddle. There's like a little fracture crack here. One thing about these is you can tell a newer paddle from an original paddle. This company started in 1974 here in Chicago, and there used to be a sticker. It looked like this on the original CW paddles. This paddle is older than, I think, 1983 or 85 or something like that, when then they changed to this nice metal. It's a sticker, but it's metal. Another indication of whether you have a newer or slightly older CW paddle is if you look at this post here, it's flat, and if you look at this post here, it's got kind of a contour rounding to it. So that's another way that you can tell. You can kind of see that some of the machining is a little bit different, maybe better on the chrome one. But I wound up buying the BY1, I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago, and this video is being made in 2022. And I was doing, a bunch of mobile CW, and I wanted a nicer paddle than what I was using in the vehicle. And I said, I've had such good experience with my Bencher. This thing's, I've got like 200 countries confirmed on CW just on this guy. I might as well get maybe a used Bencher for the vehicle. Well, that wound up being not like such a great idea because, this is a spring and there's some play. These things kind of, they're not like completely attached. So it was kind of short-lived, and I bought this used off of QTH.com and thought I would fix it up because it was in pretty rough shape. You can get a new spring from Bencher Vibroplex, so Vibroplex bought Bencher at some point in time. So I bought a new spring, and I should have bought some more of the hardware. I wasn't sure if they really sold everything, but some of the hardware I wound up replacing also. Another indication that you have an older Bencher is you have slotted screws to hold on the finger stock here, and they're riveted in on the newer ones. So I started replacing some hardware. I went with some stainless steel screws in the front here. I wound up buying these at the hardware store. They're long. I can't remember what number they are, but they're not exactly the right ones because if you look at the screws on the new bencher, maybe you can or can't see it, there's thread missing right here to allow the spring to attach onto it. And then when you adjust this screw, this spring does not ride along the threads because it's threadbare right here. So it kind of keeps it right there. I was mindful of that, and I had always thought about maybe putting this on a mini lathe, or maybe using my Dremel tool to cut those threads out of there so I wouldn't have that issue, but I'm not even worried about it. But a couple of other things I wound up doing to this one. I replaced all of the hardware on the bottom with stainless steel. I don't think it was stainless steel when I got it before. And the feet were in horrible shape. They were all brittle and they were cracking off. So I 3D printed some feet out of I think it's called TPE or something like that, where it's like slightly rubberized, and it's okay. It's okay. But I was going to kind of clean this up a little bit more because there's a little bit of scratching and stuff. I don't know how that happened on the black platform here, but there was some scratches on it. But I cleaned it up as best I could. I took all of this stuff off and just used an emery cloth with some rubbing compound, and I wound up getting it in pretty decent shape. I really wanted to replace these two, which I probably will. And then I also replaced these screws right here with stainless steel screws because these were all like in horrible shape. But I couldn't get a stainless steel screw the exact size I needed, so I wound up cutting it down on one of my grinders, and you can kind of like see some of the burn on the stainless steel there. Not my best work, so I'm going to redo that at some point in time. So this is a key that is a work in progress. But as you can see, there's we'll move to this one. You've got some adjustments. There is the ability for you to put your hex wrench in there, which is conveniently located on the bottom of this base in this model here. So you can, well, let's go to this one. You can loosen up this hex bolt here, which kind of gives, with it being so shiny, it just doesn't know where to focus. It is going to loosen this up a little bit, which will then allow you to make an adjustment to this threaded piece right here. And this threaded piece gets you either closer or further away from this contact point. And as you know, I like to have it pretty tight. You can't even see that there's a gap. Let's see if I can focus that there. It's like minuscule. So there's barely a gap there. So you can make your adjustment and then tighten this clampable post here. That is really the only adjustment you need to make. If you want, let's see, if you need to adjust the distance or maybe the equal spacing on these paddles, you can adjust. Let's see here. Sorry to make everyone dizzy. There are some adjust points in the back here. Let's see, one right here and one over here. That will allow you to adjust this point right here, and you can adjust your what the paddle spacing looks like on these. But the spring mechanism keeps tension on it, so as you push this, the spring brings it back into the neutral position here. So it's a very nice key, very nice touch. They have a characteristic, you can hear the clickety clicks of the contact points on either side. So if you, I don't know how to turn on that. Oh yeah. You can hear them click. So that's it. This is, like they say on the website, the most popular CW key ever. And this guy, really similar, almost no difference. Let's plug that in. A little bit more play than I normally have. And I think these contact points are brass, possibly. I really don't know. But you can kind of see it's the same as the other one, really. So, yeah. And as I've demonstrated in some of my other videos, I can crank this up to 35 words a minute. And it works great. So that's the Bencher CW keys. They're fantastic instruments. You can find them on QTH.com, eBay, or QRZ, or your other favorite swap place for a lot less than I paid for this brand new. I think in 1993 this was like $220, and that was a lot of money for me because I was kind of a youngster back then. I believe I bought this used about 10 years ago for 60 bucks, maybe $70. And I thought it was worth it, even though it was in pretty rough shape. So if I were to say, if there is some iambic paddle CW key that you should get, I think this is it. Either one of these. They're identical other than the finish. I kind of like the looks of the chrome, though. I always have. 73.